Hi, Ukaipa. Chris Mann, your city manager here with one more update on this power outage situation. The majority of the city of Ukaipa does have power restored at this point. There have been a couple of little pockets throughout town where those circuits have not been re-energized, and that's because those circuits cannot be controlled in an automated manner from a central location by Southern California Edison. Edison has to send out trucks and workers to physically switch those on, make sure everything's working all right. They are in the process of doing that. We are getting notifications pretty regularly now that lights are going on in those areas. So for example, in the North Bench area of Ukaipa, that area took a little bit longer because trucks had to physically go out and switch that power back on, but that is happening now. So if you do not currently have power, you should have it pretty soon. So here we are, 2.5 days into this event, which is the longest public safety power shutoff in the history of the state. We've certainly never experienced anything like it here in Ukaipa, and it is incredibly frustrating. We have zero control over it. We are completely at the mercy of the state and Southern California Edison. So my hope is that in the coming weeks and months, pressure will be applied to the state to change how all of this is handled. Yes, we need to make sure that we are preventing the start of fires, which can be devastating, especially in our area. But at the same time, we feel like we're living in a third world country when our power goes out for extended periods of time like this. So we will be working on that. Also, I'd like to address a couple of comments that we've received pretty consistently over the past couple days. The first has to do with who's at fault. Again, this all started several years ago when we had those big fires up north, and it was determined that power lines caused those fires. So to prevent those fires from starting, and frankly, so that Southern California Edison and PG&E, which is the big electric utility up north, can prevent themselves from getting sued, they came up with this public safety power shutoff, where when there's a high wind condition, they will just shut those circuits down in those areas so that their power lines cannot start fires, and they don't, they're not at fault, they can't be sued. So it is a mix of wanting to protect the public, but also trying to protect themselves. But there has to be a better way. The other thing is, we've received a lot of comments here at City Hall about why have we not put temporary stop signs up at intersections where those lights at those intersections are inoperable. It's a good question, and it's a question that is argued and discussed at almost every city in the region. A lot of the experts, traffic engineers, public safety personnel, attorneys, they collect that data, they look at the data, and they have determined that the safest route, the safest course of action is actually not to put those signs up. And they give a couple of examples, and I'll give you one as an example. You put those signs up, stop signs, all of a sudden the power comes back on and people are confused. People stop, even though the light's green, people stop because there's a stop sign, but maybe people behind them aren't seeing the stop sign on the ground. They're seeing the light's green and they keep going, and there creates accidents. So, and there are other examples as well. So there's been a long-standing policy here in the city of Ukaipa not to place temporary stop signs. However, I do understand that that causes a lot of concern with people, that when those signals are down, it's a dangerous situation. Now, I want you to know that our signals do have temporary backup power. And so for several hours, when the power goes out, they will continue to operate. I think for about 8 or 9 hours, most of our traffic signals should operate with the power down. But when power is out for days, those batteries run out. So we will be working on a solution here at City Hall because we understand this is a problem. Our Public Safety Committee meeting is going to be debriefing about this entire event and how we can improve moving forward. But I want you to know that Ukaipa places an emphasis on public safety. We had a safe event, even though sometimes it may not have seemed to be safe. We had 0 deaths, 0 serious injuries since the start of this event. There were a total of 5 traffic collisions since the beginning of this power shutoff, which is frankly in line with what we would expect during a similar period of time. None of those were serious, and again, no serious injuries, no deaths. We continue to be on watch for fire. We are still in a very dry condition, and when winds pick up again, fire could be a big issue. That is the real threat here for us. So I want to thank you for being such great neighbors. We've heard story after story about neighbors reaching out and helping each other. I'm glad that it looks like we're through this event, and we'll be even better prepared for the next. But thank you so much, Yucaipa. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. We are here at City Hall. You can always reach out to the police station after hours, or to one of our fire stations. You can reach out through the Yucaipa app, but we are here for you. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.